Are you on?
Yeah. Hey, everyone. Welcome to SBR Sports Picks. I'm Peter Lushak. This is the daily show that I do every day at 10:30 Eastern time, where I give my official picks in MLB. And coming off a 1-1 day, but overall plus 5% ROI. And of course, every Monday and Thursday, I do upcoming series previews with Drew Martin, where I update my record officially and put the graphic up. And thank the Lord, plus 5% ROI, which is hard to sustain in baseball for over the full season. But if I can do it, that would be
well, you've been betting smart.
You know? What?
You've been betting smart. You only have about 2-3 a day.
That's correct. And also, if you notice, even yesterday, the one winner was once again the low-hanging fruit pick of the day. And I haven't been tracking that, but that's one like it's 7 days in a row or something. I mean, the low-hanging fruit picks have been cashing. Even when I have like a mediocre day or a losing day, it's like low hanging. Even that day that I went 2-4, when I gave like 2 picks and had 4, when Tony was in next to me, I had 4 terrible totals because I was off my game. Even that day, the low hanging fruit day was the low hanging fruit pick was pick of the day was a winner. So
that should just be the name of the show.
Yeah, exactly. Just give one pick, and I'll tell you what. I think I am seeing a little fruit hanging low today.
Well, let's tease him with the fruit.
Yeah, let's tease him with the fruit. It's the LA Dodgers, -1. A little bit of a favorite line there. But Edinson Volquez, of course, I've had a pretty good read on auto fade pitchers in general recently. Volquez is the one auto fade guy who I took a loss with in his last start, right? Because his last start was actually pretty good. But I definitely think going forward, much more often than not, he's going to be a guy who's going to get hit, and a guy who is going to be a good auto fade going forward. I took a hit on him backing a fade of him last game that he started. And, for sure he's capable of giving, stretches of 2 or 3 innings in a row where he's looking okay. Some point he's likely to get blown up, especially against the Dodgers lineup, right? With that new guy, what the hell is that? That rookie who's doing so well. His name escapes me right now. But the point is, they hit righties very well. They've got a lineup that's great. On the other side, Ryu, who, if you notice, that was a good call in his last start. Yes. He was because I was high on him early on in the year, to bounce back from his struggles, just like I was with Kenta Maeda. But then I switched that opinion. That's what you have to do with these pitchers. You have to switch on a dime quickly as necessary. And Ryu was coming off of a hip injury, right? He was coming off of some hip problems, and his start was in Coors. So I figured that was going to be a really bad spot for him, and he did get crushed. So going forward, I think he's probably going to be okay. It's if the hip is worse than advertised, then he won't be okay. That could be a problem. But I'm willing to bet that in this game, and obviously Miami, the worst team in MLB in terms of ROI, I do expect them to not be the worst team in MLB. Going forward, maybe still be bad, to improve. But again, in this spot, I think it's worth a fade. You have the Dodgers lineup going up against Volquez, and Ryu should be okay. And it's not too high of a favorite line here. So I'm going to take the LA Dodgers -1, and that's going to be -183 with the BetOnlineSportsBetting.ag lines for the money line, and then for the run line part at Pinnacle +118. A few places have a little bit higher than that, but I'm going to take a few rec books have higher than that. But I'm going to take the Pinnacle line -1.5 +118, so that should work out to be -130 or so, -135 on the Dodgers -1. I guess that's the low-hanging fruit of the day. I mean, look, I talked about that for about 3 minutes in a row, trying to convince myself. Now that I've had like 7 low-hanging fruit of the day winners in a row, I'm starting to get like, now you get cautious, But
you feel out that hanging fruit in the dark.
I'm sure a lot of people will comment on it when I get to the comments, but makes sense to me, right?
Yes.
Makes sense.
That's all that matters.
Makes sense.
I say it all the time.
All right.
I don't mind losing when it doesn't make sense to lose.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just funny to see that these 2 pitchers combined for 1 win the entire season.
Right, and Ryu is started the year terribly.
Yes.
To start the year,
he was out a little bit to begin with.
Right, and then he had a different injury, a hip injury, very recently. Correct. So he's had a rocky start to the season. But this is also something that's a little bit under the radar. He is also one of these great hitting pitchers who can also
really.
Yes,
I didn't know that.
Under the radar, and so that's something that obviously the people who model baseball know about. But the average that is something that actually matters. Are you getting a starting pitcher who has like an 060 batting average, or a guy who actually can hit 240 with a home run once in a while?
Absolutely,
you know what I mean? Like Bumgarner. Remember when Bumgarner hit a couple home runs?
He just recently.
Yeah, right. And Ryu is the same way. He's a guy who has
that's right. In the first game of the season, he hit 2.
Yeah. who has a nice bat, you know? And think about that. If you have a guy who's a starting pitcher who's like hitting like 100 versus a guy who's hitting like 240 and can hit a couple home runs, imagine if you took someone else in the order and gave a boost like that. What a huge boost that would be. You know what I mean?
Oh, well.
Like,
yeah,
I'm just
that's
saying,
a different story because you won't have somebody on your roster that's not a pitcher. That's
right. But what I'm saying is if you give one of the bats in the order that big of a boost, because it's a pitcher, it sometimes goes under the radar. But if you gave that big of a boost to a position player, you'd be like, oh my God, this is a huge boost.
You're right.
You know?
They're also only batting once every 5 days too. So
right, but But I'm saying, but in the games that they start, you know,
correct.
he'll get 2 or 3 at bats here. All right, so. Yeah. Oh, wow. Travis Levine says, against my religion to pick the Dodgers. And I don't know whether that's from a fan perspective or from a betting perspective. Yes, at times they have been a team over the years that has been very overvalued at times. So you definitely have to be careful when you're betting, the Dodgers or the Cubs or the Yankees or any of those, public favorite teams. That is absolutely one of the picks that I was thinking about. It is 4.5. Which is a little bit high, and you're absolutely right. That is definitely, I bet that one. Yes, and the only reason I might not give it is because I'm not sure if I want to go on fade Volquez 2 ways in light of how well he did in his last, or how unshittily he did in his last start.
I think that's smart. Don't
because
he's
the kind of guy who is going to give you some shutout innings in a row in any given start. It's just he didn't have those blow-ups when his control fails him. You know, when his control fails him, then he starts putting guys on, then he starts getting hit, and then it's all it's all down the drain. So the answer is yes. That will definitely be one of my official leans over 4.5 for sure. But just taking the Dodgers -1, hedges against if somehow Volquez pitches well and Ryu pitches better, and now you got a 4-2 win and you still cash, or a 4-3 win and you get a push. All right. Okay. So other interesting stuff for today. Second one, which I was thinking might be a low-hanging fruit play. Now I'm just not sure how I feel about it. I previewed this game. I previewed, every Wednesday I preview Thursday stuff with Joe Gavassi, and we previewed all the early games yesterday. And Washington-Pittsburgh, I said, that line. I had the game circled because Glasnow has been struggling badly. Rourke has been solid, if unspectacular, and obviously Washington is what they are. Pittsburgh is what they are in the lineup. And I was expecting the line to be a little bit higher, and I thought that Washington, just on a -1 line or a run line play would be an obvious good play. And Joe Gavassi completely agreed with that. It's a little bit trappy here, and as in my last video with Drew Martin, we discussed Glasnow, and Drew Martin was like looking at me and saying like, "How did you know that Glasnow was going to be so bad?" And I shrugged my shoulders arrogantly, but he is obviously a guy who has tremendous talent, and at some point maybe an elite pitcher. And so any start that you're betting against him, that's looming in the background. Is this going to be a start where suddenly out of nowhere he throws 7 innings,
right,
shutout, 9 strikeouts, 1 walk, no control issues, and just looks dominant?
Eventually, probably.
Right, and that could happen here. Still, it's just such a low line that it's just so tempting to take Washington here, and this is what I'm going to have to think about for a while.
So
also,
would this be like saggy fruit?
This would be, well, it's or trappy. No, it's like fruit.
I can't help it. That's all I think about when you say low-hanging fruit.
We do have a studio audience for anyone who's wondering what the background laughter and talk is, but this would be it was like the Chicago Cubs one. I was like, is this poisonous fruit? And the Chicago Cubs one from yesterday, it was interesting because it covered in the third, but it only wound up covering by a half run, so that one is and also because it's getaway day. Like if this were a 7 o'clock game on a Tuesday, it would be different, but because it's getaway day, could be some lineup issues, a little bit weird 12:30 time start, so it's a little bit of a tricky spot.
There's
a little
12:30 starts.
What? Eastern time.
Nice.
Eastern time, yeah.
Baseball in like 20 minutes.
Okay, so then the other game that I discussed with Joe Gavassi along similar lines is Baltimore at Detroit. Bundy and Zimmerman. Zimmerman obviously has been horrific, and Bundy has been for the most part excellent. So it's definitely tempting to take Baltimore here. I'm not too I knew that to stay off them in the KC series. And I've been hesitant to take them in this Detroit series as well. So if I was going to take that one, I would definitely go on the first 5. We're paying a little bit higher juice on that one, though. And the first 5 innings for Baltimore would be, DSI has 130, 5 times has 125.
City of Champs likes your mustache.
Who does?
City of Champs.
City of Champs. Nice. Thanks. I get that.
He grew it himself.
Yeah, I grew it myself. All right. So
I can't.
First-time viewer, I guess, City of Champs, right? I mean, this has been blazing for quite a long time now. All right, so let's see. So there's that one. So the only pick I've given officially so far, low-hanging fruit of the day, is the Dodgers -1. Definitely tempted to take Washington -1. Definitely tempted to take Baltimore on the first 5 innings. And then we have the Cincinnati Cubs game, right? You think that's funny?
Yeah. No, he looks like Jack Parkman from Major League.
Hmm?
You look like the mustache.
Jack
Parkman.
Parkman.
Sorry. We'll watch it later.
All right, yeah, we'll watch it later. Okay. Anyway, so the Cincinnati Cubs game is an interesting one. Obviously, I was leaning towards the Cubs in the last 2 games. I didn't take them on the money lines. I took them on the team totals, and they cashed. Today, though, I'm thinking about Cincinnati. Lester has had 5 kind of crappy starts in a row, right? Cincinnati also hits lefties a lot better than righties, and big wild card here is Amir Garrett, right, coming back to the majors, and he obviously has a huge strikeout potential. In fact, they sent him down to the minors. I mean, this guy obviously has major potential, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And you know, when they sent him down to the minors to get some minor league work, and he struck out every single freaking batter that he faced in his minor league work, right?
I know that, actually.
That's the kind of stuff that this guy does have. Of course, he can also, wild inconsistency with a youngster like that who's trying to harness his stuff. It's a huge line, though, for Cincinnati. You know, that's all the way up into the plus 170s. Some of the rec books.
It's a good point, Hot Dickens.
What?
You're breaking Yankee protocol with that long hair, you know.
Am I? Oh, that's right. That's right. No, that is true. That is true. That's why you never see a Yankees guy with this.
Johnny, you look like Johnny Damon, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, but when he was on the Red Sox before.
Right, exactly. So I'm thinking about Cincinnati at the massive underdog line. I'm thinking about Cincinnati team total over 4.5 and some plus money. Again, John Lester, what's up with him? His last 5 starts, I think one of those starts in his last 5 was okay, but he really got hit in the other 4 in a major way. And again, so you know what? Whenever I say, you know what, or let's see over and over again, I'm trying to talk myself into the confidence to do something. I'll do it. Cincinnati Reds team total over 4.5 plus 106 at Pinnacle right now. So, that's a fade of Lester. Obviously, that's a little bit tricky and treacherous. If he suddenly out of nowhere bounces back to his elite Cy Young contender form out of nowhere in this game, I'll eat a loss. But again, it's just one unit.
5 in a row, right?
I'll eat a loss, right? All right. So I will take the Cincinnati Reds team total over 4.5 plus 106. Definitely leaning Cincinnati just on the money line of that massive line in the plus 170s. All right. We're gonna get to the comments in a second. I'm just looking over the games that I want to mention first, and I'm thinking about playing another one. White Sox at Seattle. Seattle is not necessarily a team that you think of as one of the best teams in baseball, but at home they've been killing it. Matty Ice, they're the 3rd best team in baseball in terms of home ROI, over 20%, positive 20% in terms of ROI.
Really?
And of course, the White Sox, as we know, have a very stark righty-lefty discrepancy. They're much better against lefties than they are against righties. Gaviglio, of course, is a righty who got great results in the minors, and then he came up to the majors and had just 1 relief appearance, got great results in that appearance. And then, as the third reason to take Seattle, on the other side is Dylan Covey. And we know what his deal has been, right? He got a bunch of strikeouts in his last start, but he has been absolutely awful in his time in the majors. So adding it all together, it is a little bit of a healthy favorite line there in the minus 150s, 160. But I'm thinking Seattle -1 once again. A nice pick. Seattle's been great at home. White Sox are bad against righties. Gaviglio is very promising as a starter. Covey on the other side is very unpromising as a starter for the White Sox. White Sox do have, that capable at worst bullpen, elite at best bullpen. So that's a little bit concerning. But there's always a reason why you could make an argument for not taking a bet.
What about that game going over 9?
Which one?
Is it the Marlins? Wait, the Mariners game. Excuse me.
The Mariners game. No, I would not take that because again, Gaviglio has a live arm. And he could easily, so even if Covey comes in, and Covey showed some good signs his last start, right? He still gave up a bunch of runs, a bunch of hits, and a home run and everything, but his strikeouts were up. He started to miss bats, as they say, 9 strikeouts in his last start. So, no, I would not take the over, and I have had a pretty good read on overs in Seattle in general. I was on them in some of their recent series, I think, against Oakland, but Seattle -1. It is, it would be a small favorite line. Jesus. All right, I'll do it. Okay, I'll do it. All right, I'll do it. There we go. I'm going to take Seattle -1. Well, what'd you say?
This is Tinder confidence. I mean, I don't know. I'm seeing
Tinder confidence. Yeah. No, this is because this is what bettors do when they're making a bet. They're sitting there. Should I click confirm? Do I really like this one? Do I want to, go, put some of my bank account on this? And then they decide yes or decide no. I will put the Seattle -1. I did bet this one, so -1. So the money line again on betonlinesportsbetting.ag -154, and the run line part will be Pinnacle -1.5 plus 134. So that works out to -115 or so. Modest line. If it loses, I'll eat the unit. That's a third pick I've given. Now I've given Seattle -1, Cincinnati team total over 4.5, and the Dodgers -1 as the low-hanging fruit of the day. And I guess that's about it. There's a modest straight, obviously. The Yankees. I know you follow the Yankees closely, Matty Ice. Did you look at their game today or anything? No. Yeah, yesterday I was all over that over, but I couldn't give it in the show because I had to wait just to see what other information came in.
And it went. Cash was a 7.
Way over. It was Pineda against Vargas.
Yeah, I didn't see the
18
game.
runs.
Really?
Yeah. So today.
Good thing you didn't listen to me.
Yeah. Right. Today I'm thinking about the Yankees on the second half. In general, as I said, I have a pretty good read on KC. When Baltimore came in here, I said that I didn't like Baltimore, and I told Drew Martin, I said when the Yankees come in, I am kind of looking to take the Yankees at KC. Duffy, of course. I think Duffy's going to be not as good, obviously not as good as he was last year, and not as good as he's been this year. I expect some regression from him going forward, but he's still going to be a quality pitcher. So I'm thinking about the Yankees second half.
Okay.
Montgomery against
not a team
Duffy.
to bet against in the second half, but go for
Well,
it.
they actually have been the top, literally the top second half team in baseball. I think they're hitting at about 70% on their second halves overall to date, which makes perfect sense because they have that lineup and the bullpen that is one of the best in the majors, obviously. So
pretty good. It's like they finally learned how to build a baseball team.
Our in-studio audience, you guys getting bored, or are you guys is this compelling to you guys, or? This is awesome. All right, yeah.
You are in the group chat.
All right, okay. Because we do have a studio audience, and I've done some live performances before, and if you're doing something that's meant to be entertaining, and you hear notable dead silence for minutes on end, I want to check in once in a while.
That's
You
good.
know what I'm
That's good.
saying? You guys having a good time tonight? All right. You know what I think for future studio audiences? First of all, we'll do what the Letterman show does, and we'll turn the temperature down, right? Because the hot temperature makes you a little bit lethargic. The cold temperature makes you more likely to laugh.
Fair enough.
And make the guys make them have a couple drinks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's only 8:30.
Yeah. You know exactly. Couple drinks and turn the temperature down, and we will have a more lively studio audience next time for sure. We're gonna yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. 50.
Well, you threw your
I
shoe
want
at
this.
me yesterday.
I want this damn room in the 50s next time. All right. Okay. All right. So let's
Does that
get
mean you
to
want
it.
it in black and white?
Yeah. Anything. All right. So here we go. So let's see. Let's go to some of the comments. Let's see some of the comments. Wow, a lot of comments. Robert.
All right, well, before you get into that,
Okay.
we have a comment.
All right.
Chris Carr wants to know if there's any low-hanging fruit on Costa Rican Tinder.
On Costa Rican Tinder.
Because I know if I ask this too late, you're going to say we run out of time.
Now talk about questionable low-hanging fruit. Yes, there is a lot of low-hanging fruit. I'll tell you, like I said, the Tinder, and I'll have to show you guys because I matched with a 22-year-old, and she doesn't scream, because this is a real concern.
Scream, that's good.
I have a friend. I literally have a friend who hooked up with a girl in a bar once, and it was a setup. She called her gangster friends that came and robbed his stuff. And I'm assuming they used Tinder to do that too, right? Because that would be much more effective, right?
Yeah, he screamed.
Well, yeah, he did. Yeah, for sure. Maybe even if he got to hook up with her, it was worth it for him. But yeah, I do have that vague concern in my mind, and I guess even in the United States, you should have that concern, right?
I guess so.
Yeah,
I wouldn't necessarily, but that might be naive.
The difference is that there's a lot more cameras in the United States, so people who try to pull that are more likely to get busted. Here, you can get away with it a lot easier. So.
Craigslist, remember?
Craigslist, yeah, they have Craigslist killer.
Yeah. All right, so let's get to some of the questions. They're probably going to be questions about games I already covered. Let's see.
I got some Nationals game money line.
Yeah,
Nationals on the money line.
Everyone's been asking about that, and Robert Reed just asked about that. Should I take Nationals money line? Well, I'll tell you what, I would definitely take the Nationals on the run line or the -1 line if I were going to bet that game, which I admit I already did bet it. I bet it on the opener and the overnight, and if it loses, and it's definitely an official strong lean for me right now. The factors are that Glasnow does have massive potential. At any point, he could come in and throw a strong start. And Rourke has been very reliable, very solid, but not spectacular. I would expect 6 innings, 3 runs from him, something like that here. So basically, you're going to need Washington either to hit Glasnow or to pull away late, which they could easily do. I still think it's a good bet, but I don't think it's not the low-hanging fruit of the day. And the fact that it's getaway day and an early start time just makes me, a little bit conservative with my play. I bet it, and I'm going to stick with my bet, and I will definitely add it to my official leans list on this one, but not official picks.
I think that's the theme of your season for MLB so far. It's conservative.
Yeah, well, it's because last year and in other years, I would have a pick that I really liked, and I would give it, and I would explain why, and it would win. And then I would have like 4 or 5 other borderline picks. They go like 1 and 4. And as you know, I pioneered in this industry having an incredibly shitty record and being honest about it, making graphics about it. So then I was like, in the middle of the year, I was like, well, why don't I just like only give the picks that I really, really love, as official,
Yeah.
And so that's what I've been doing, and it's kind of been taken off. And also the other thing I was like, well, why don't I also do more research? And I've been doing that, and that has also been so the answer to the money line to the Nationals. Yes, I like it. I would much prefer Nationals on the run line than just the money line, because I think that if they don't run away with this one, Pittsburgh has a good chance to take it late. But yes, I like the Nationals here, and I'm willing to bet that Glasnow once again struggles at least a little bit, and if he doesn't, that Washington's a good bet to pull away late. All right, and let's see other questions. What about Oakland-Boston? That's a really tough one. That's going to be a pass for me. Boston's guy is this guy, Hector Velasquez, making his major league debut. So when anyone's making his major league debut, there's always an uncertainty involved. But he was great in the minors, right? Great results in the minors. And he's going into Oakland. Oakland's obviously a team that can be shut down. And then Sonny Gray on the other side, another big question mark. He's been okay.
Yeah.
He's been okay. Getting a lot of grounders.
At least.
Well, what?
He should at least be okay. He's shown that he could be fantastic.
Yes. And he's been getting a lot of ground balls and generally been decent. And Boston again is not like Washington this year. They're like they're a mediocre team. So that one is it's going to be a pass for me. I'm not going to take it. I'm probably not going to take it on the total, and probably not going to bet it on the side any which way. If I had to bet it, if you gave me a free bet, I probably would go with Boston just because this guy Velasquez in the minors has been so good. But again, that's lots of guys have been great in the minors and then come to majors and gotten hit. So that's going to be a pass for me. Oakland against Boston. David Hardy says KC might be. Oh, really? Okay. He likes KC against the Yankees at just a very modest underdog line. It opened about even on both sides. With KC, you're only getting about plus 106. I don't know, David Hardy. I'm liking the Yankees, but I agree that I like them more in the second half than on the full game. And I think that Duffy is, very likely to have
seems safer.
A quite reasonable start. Apple fans saying, let's see. Yeah, that's what I do when I'm like, I'm trying to make the wires in my brain one last meditation to figure out what I really want to do, what I'm really willing to go for. Okay, let's see. Arizona. This guy's saying Arizona bats were below average. I saw a game yesterday. They can't home run. Who cares? They're not playing tonight. Why are you coming in Arizona? You know what I'm saying? Great. The 49ers are probably going to have a bad year.
Washington Bullets can't hit threes, man.
Yeah. Omaha 88, that same guy, though, saying, I like Seattle, Pete. Yes, I agree. That's one of my official picks, Seattle. Let's see. Right, here we go. Odds couple fan immediately. Just like what I said, odds couple fan. Nats, Noworth or Zimmerman. There you go. I didn't check which doesn't necessarily mean they don't like him, but those are the kinds of things that happen with early afternoon games on getaway day, which you really have to be careful of. Yeah. All right, let's see. Omaha saying Seattle team total better, maybe. Yeah, I mean, Cubby's been very hittable. Eddie Ward asking about Seattle over. A lot of people asking about the over in that one. I can certainly make that argument.
Talk about the Orioles yet?
The Orioles against Detroit. That's another tough one. It's another early day game, getaway day. I would be leaning under, although, I did cash with the under on that one yesterday with a lean, but I didn't make it an official pick, and I gave the Texas as the under, which was a loser. I should have given Detroit, but I would have a slight lean to the under at 10.5 again, and slight lean to Baltimore on the first 5 innings. And that's definitely official strong lean, and I might wind up giving that one by the end of this show. Anyway, all right, let's see. Dan Kellerman Derek saying Stroman never faced the Braves, which is good for him. He is 5-1, 2.11 ERA in interleague games. Yes, but Toronto is a sluggish, overvalued team, and there's no way in hell I'm taking them at the current favorite line, road favorite line of minus 130. Stroman is good. Tehran can be good, but is much less reliable. But as I said, for a while now, the Atlanta bats are a little undervalued, and they've been putting up, some big numbers recently. And Toronto, a lot of people have been commenting, laughing about the Toronto bats, saying Toronto sucks and this and that. I generally agreed with them. I gave them as a lean once, but not an official pick, and they lost. and the next day did give them as an official pick, and they lost. So, Toronto, when Tulowitzki is supposed to be back soon,
Yes.
I was reading that he might be back today. That's going to be a boost. It'll take him some time to get acclimated. When he comes back and Donaldson comes back, it'll be a different story. But as of right now, no, I'm not going to take
A lot
Toronto.
of people talking about Bautista's bat flipping antics.
Yeah, he's a bat.
I like it, man.
He's a bat flipper. All right, let's see. Reds team total over. Let's see.
Low-hanging fruit was the Dodgers -1,
Yeah,
correct?
Dodgers -1. And I'm telling you.
Saggy fruit is Cincinnati team total over 4.5.
That's a good, the saggy fruit, because that's one thing. That's another thing I learned about. A fruit in Costa Rica. I assume that if the fruit's on the tree, it's like fruit can't rot until it's off the tree, but no, fruit can rot and still be on the tree. Did you know that?
No.
Yes. Like the lemon tree.
Bugs get on it, maybe.
Yes, no, fruit can rot while it's still on the tree, so that could be no. But I think, look, Lester's been shaky. Cincinnati hits lefties well. 4.5 is not that high of a line for a team for an offensively productive team when the wind's blowing out at Wrigley. So yeah, that might be saggy fruit, but I'm going to take it. And again, if it loses, I'm confident. All right, let's see. Can we get any NHL talk? I don't. I'm not covering the NHL playoffs this year. Just too much. So I'm covering, MLB, because it's kind of like in school. Like if you take 4 classes and try to do well in them, but if you take like 8 classes, you'll fail all of them. People are like, "What? Are you an idiot?" And you're like, "No, I tried to take 8 classes at once and it didn't work."
What school did you go to where you only had to take 4 classes?
College?
Oh,
I'm
thinking high school.
Yeah. Oh, hell no. All right. Okay. All right. So
Anyway.
Yeah. All right. So let's see. Wow. Toy Reviews 51 saying low Shack killing the MLB lately. Thanks. Yeah, I really appreciate it. I've been doing well with my picks. I've been doing well with the leans as well, and I think I've been doing well in general with the general advice when people ask about games. More often than not. So thanks for those kind words. Travis Levine asking Oakland -1. No, I don't. Maybe. But I'm staying off that game. I'm staying off that. Right. Cody Bellinger. Right. That's the guy rookie who's just been killing it recently. And once again, against Volquez, he's going to have either a lot of walks or some fat fastballs to hit. All right. Let's see. I guess Vig Simon asking who are the broads in the background. Well, one of them is actually not a broad. He's a Hansen-esque guy, blonde guy. That's a compliment, right?
What does that mean?
It means that you're extremely fair and pretty, like so pretty that you
that's
look
true.
like,
You're right.
God, is that yeah. All right, so let's see. I guess that's about it. All right, so let's review the important games and the picks. The picks I've given so far are the Dodgers -1, Cincinnati team total over, and Seattle -1. The strong leans are Baltimore first half, Washington -1, which I guess maybe isn't even necessarily a strong lean anymore. Cincinnati at plus 175 or whatever line you can get it, definitely be a strong lean. The Yankees second half, man, -135.
I like that one.
That is a real strong lean there, Matty Ice. All right, I'll take that one. I'll throw that one on there. Yankees second half -135. Yankees second half -135. I'll throw that one on there. That's an official pick. That's not an official lean anymore. Oakland-Boston is a pass. Seattle -1 is an official pick, and the Dodgers -1 is an official pick. And as Zach said, Dodgers team total over 4.5 is good. I think that if that one goes over, your -1 bet is probably cashing, and probably your -1.5 bet would be cashing as well. All right, and that's about it. The Washington -1 pick, I'll leave that one as a lean. Baltimore first 5. God, Bundy against Zimmerman. It just feels trappy. I'm going to stay off that one. I'm going to hang off that one. That is definitely a lean. And Cincinnati at the plus money with Garrett. That's a strong lean, but I'm going to hold off on that one as well. Just make that one a lean. Cincinnati, massive plus money. I will take that one. Toronto and Atlanta. Dan Kellerman-Derrick gave the opinion that he likes Toronto. Dan Kellerman-Derrick, of course, is a regular poster who has great insights, does his research, and he's one of those guys who his opinions are always valuable, whether his actual pick winds up winning or not. His research is always valuable. He likes Stroman at about -130 with Toronto. I'm staying the hell off that one, but I can certainly understand why. And I guess that's about it. Should we wrap it up?
Al Hart says never get a question answered.
He does?
He says he just put that on.
Well, that wasn't a question.
Al Hart, yeah, exactly. So we're not going to
form them into the
Al
form
Hart.
of a question.
Yeah.
Al Hart. Oh, yes. He did post never get a question answered. All right, we're going back. Oh, Milwaukee in the over. Sorry about that, Al Hard. Yeah, I apologize. It's just there's so many comments that come here. Oh, geez. Okay, that Milwaukee in the over, that is one of the games that didn't have an overnight line. So, I wasn't able to research that one in depth. It's Davies against Cosart. I really have to look into what to expect from Cosart because, of course, in general, Cosart is, not that great. Davies is a guy who, should be hittable. Had his great year last year, but has been much more hittable this year. Have to see who's in the lineup for Milwaukee because that's also an early game. It's a 3:30 Eastern time game, but a 12:30 Pacific time game. So that one had no overnight line. So I'm sorry to say that I don't have any in-depth research on that one other than the obvious, which is obviously Cosart vulnerable, obviously Davies vulnerable, and obviously San Diego, a questionable team to bet on in all circumstances. So sorry about that, Al Hart. I try to answer all your questions, and on that one, I just answered it saying that I have no answer. Sorry. Very sorry, Al Hart. Very sorry, Al Hart. But,
That was a long no answer.
Yeah, I do. And he did ask another question. Minnesota first game. Again, yeah. All right, Al Hard, the reason is because you asked the hard questions, Al. The
No
Minnesota
hard-hitting questions.
There's a rain out yesterday. So now there's a doubleheader, and as I've said many times when it comes to doubleheaders, as we know, I don't bet doubleheaders until right before the game start because there's a lot of last-minute lineup changes that can happen, a lot of last-minute starting pitchers that can happen, changes that can happen, and obviously when it comes to the second game of a doubleheader, you really want to know what happened in the first game as far as bullpen's concerned, and you want to check those lineups. So that is hard, but the first game is Marquez and Santana, and obviously Santana is a guy who we've been talking about for a long time, a guy who's definitely going to have some regression. There's no way he's going to have a sub-1 ERA the whole year. The question is, how hard will he regress? I think he'll regress pretty hard because his peripherals have been getting a little questionable recently. And as we know, I've been high on Colorado for a while. I've said that Colorado is the top team in the majors right now in ROI overall and on the road. They're over 50% ROI on the road, right? And
Crazy.
Minnesota has a negative double-digit home ROI. So I would definitely be leaning Colorado in general. But if I had to make a bet on that one, it would be Colorado's second half because Marquez coming off of a strong start at home and at Coors. And, he's a guy who is going to be a youngster, very up and down. He might be down here. And Santana, again, even if he regresses, might give you a good 6 or 7 inning start anyway. So I would lean if you gave me a free bet on the game, yes, I would take Colorado at plus money. But if you gave me a free bet and I could bet whatever I wanted to, I would take Colorado on the second half on that one. And then for the second game, Chatwood against Berrios. Man, that is a tough one. Berrios, of course, youngster with a ton of talent and upside. First year in the majors, was not getting it done, was getting hit. But this year, great in the minors. Then they brought him up to the majors. First start, awesome. Right, Matty Ice? So he might be ready to really come into his own and be in the league.
Despite his troubles last season, he showed a lot.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not surprised.
Oh, not at all. Everyone was just sitting back and kind of waiting, similar to Tyler Glasnow, right? And so Berrios might be right in the wheelhouse and about to embark on a strong season, or at least a strong stretch of 8 or 10 games right now.
A couple months.
And that's another game that I previewed with Joe Gavazzi, I believe it was, and he said that he loves Minnesota on the run line. So he's a big believer in Berrios going forward and in this game. So that's my take on that one, on the Minnesota-Colorado series, and that's about it. I guess let's just wrap it up and review. My official picks are the LA Dodgers. Once again, my official picks: LA Dodgers -1, Seattle -1, Yankees second half -135, which I did decide to throw in at the last minute, and then Cincinnati on the team total over at 4.5. And once again, the official leans: Baltimore first half at about -130, Cincinnati money line in the +170s, and that's it. I guess just 2 leans, and I guess you would also include the LA Dodgers team total over 4.5. Although I'm not going to include that as a lean, but it's an almost lean, and I would have included it as a pick if I didn't give the Dodgers -1. So yeah, those are just the 2 leans, and I'm even going to hold off on Washington -1 as a lean. That's not a lean. The only leans are Baltimore first half and Cincinnati as a big underdog, and that's about it. I think we covered it all, right?
I don't know.
Thanks, everyone. Yes,
schedule.
thanks everyone so much for your questions and comments and everything. And I hope we can continue to provide a little bit of entertainment and a lot of betting value. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back for the full Friday card tomorrow.
Thank you.